good evening, everyone. So today we will be again discussing one editorial from Hindu newspaper. So this editorial again we are going to discuss about what China, like again China has actually completed its 100 years of existence. So therefore we are going to have a look at the whole history, geography, etc. Everything regarding China. So we are going to have a brief study of China's behavior, etc. So again, this editorial been written by an Indian, so therefore we will be focusing or tilting the editorial more towards India or relation of China and India. So what is the context of the today's editorial? So the context is currently China, the Communist Party of China has been recently celebrating its 100th anniversary of establishment. That is the CPI. So over here we are talking about the Communist Party of CPC, sorry, which is Communist Party of China. So in the background, we are also going to have a look at the India and China relationship. So again, we know that the Indian-China relationship are currently not going very well, because if we talk about it, the Galwan Valley region, that is in the eastern Ladakh region, then if we come a bit south to that, then we in the Uttarakhand region, etc. And then if we go into the northeast, so over there also, so in the northeast, etc. That means in all the border we are sharing with China. So everywhere we have some sort of dispute with China, especially the chicken neck corridor as well. So again, China and India in the recent years doesn't seem to be having very good relationships. So China is said to be forming a new military units made up of the local Tibetan youngsters. So if all of you are aware regarding the Aksai Chin region, that is the region in the eastern Ladakh region. So if you're aware about the Aksai Chin geography, so that is at a very high altitude level. So what China is actually doing, China is using the young Tibetan people, that means the people who are born there, that means people who have the habit of living in such environment. Because so for example, from India only, if you're going to take people from the southward sides of the India, or maybe from the area where people have the habit of living in the moderate environment, then for those people getting settled up in the hilly region or in very cold area, that is going to become quite difficult. So what China over here is doing, China is actually picking up these Tibetan people who have their mind and bodies been developed in such a way that they have a habit of living in such high altitudes. So China is actually deploying such people in the eastern Ladakh region. Why is China again doing that? Because again, China wants to have an upper hand compared to India in the region. So in short, that is if we talk about the India-China relationship. So the first one, that means the India-China relationship started ruining from 1962 onwards. That is during the Indo-China War of 1962. Again, the recent studies or the scholars have also came up that is there was one reason behind the 1962 war. So the reason was during that time. So during that time, what was happening? China's economy on its own was going through a famine. And as China was like going downwards, China couldn't see India coming up or in the in the Asian region, in the South Asian region. So therefore, China wanted to suppress India. And in order to suppress India, they had a war, like China declared a war with India. And we know what what happened in 1962. And if we talk about the current condition as well, although Xi Jinping, so he seems like a very promising leader. They seem like making China very great, and they're like promising to make China as a superpower, etc. So all in all, in the inside, if we have a look at the inside of their politics or something like that, they know that India is a very huge competitor of them. So therefore, this is also one of the reason of that string of pearls operation, etc. That is, this is also one of the reason why China is also having border disputes every now and then with India. China keeps on having that because again, China know that India is becoming a huge superpower in the South Asian region, and China does not want that. So if talked about at a world level, China says that there should not be one superpower, etc. That means if we talk about the rest of the world combined, if we talk about at a whole global level, so China says that there should be many different powers, so in every sector. Whereas if talked about in the South Asian region, China doesn't want India coming up. So China China forgets that previous viewpoint of having multiple superpowers. So in South Asian region or in the Indo-Pacific region, etc., in all this region, so China wants themselves to have a very bigger hand compared to India. Neither that does China want India to be growing in this region. So this is actually why China keeps on having little fights with us every now and then. So all of this has also left an inedible mark on the relationship between two Asian behemoths who share somewhere around 3,500 kilometers land border. So again, over here we are talking about the two Asian nations, that is India and China. So that means China doesn't want India coming up, whereas India has no problem. So okay, again, Indians have this viewpoint that every country is going to attain its power on their own basis instead of suppressing the other one. Whereas China has a very different policy. Again, this is also one of the reasons why a lot of countries have already quit from the Belt Road Initiative, especially the countries who has the principle of democracy among them, because they are also now aware regarding the China's debt trap policy. That means China give people loans because of the Belt and Road Initiative development, and later on it colonizes the area. We have the example of that is Sri Lanka, and China also has its eye in the Australian region, etc. as well, because again China has been investing in Australia, and now China has like its eye on Australia. So this was also one of the reasons why Australia was so eager to join NATO after China had its eye on Australia. So if we talk about the global concern regarding China, that is whatever China is currently doing, if we talk about what globally or the rest of the world is thinking about it, if we talk about the G7 and the NATO, that is an organization between 4 countries, Japan, USA, Australia, and India. So these at both these platforms, China has been found getting a lot of criticism. And again, China is also like preventing Bangladesh from entering NATO. Why? Because again, now China knows that Bangladesh is currently becoming an emerging economy. That is surprisingly, Bangladesh is doing very well in the economic sector, whereas India is facing economic crisis, and also China is also currently facing a lot of economic crisis due to several reasons. One of the reasons can also be the COVID pandemic, because again, the rest of the world is actually blaming China for that. So people are kind of boycotting China. Like in India also, we have stopped using Chinese products, etc. So this is what the rest of the world is also a little bit doing that as well. So China's economy is also suffering. Whatever image Xi Jinping is actually portraying, so that is not the actual image. So if you see the actual image has a lot of holes in that. That means China's economy is also suffering. And over the top of that, China does not want another enemy to get joined up in the NATO. That means another emerging power, an emerging country joining up in NATO and becoming or increasing the amount of, or the list of enemies of China, that is Bangladesh. So China, on the other hand, is likely to be deterred by any of this. So again, what China actually, see, G7 is actually opposing China. NATO is opposing China. The whole world is actually opposing China. Whereas if we talk about China as an individual country, they do not have actually, they don't care about what the my world is actually thinking about them. So a huge example of that is also the dispute of the South and the East China Sea. On the next page, we are going to have a look at what the South China Sea looks like. That means what is the dispute going over there. And the next one is a Muslim minority, that is the Uyghurs, the Muslim people. So what is happening regarding the Uyghur Muslim? So if you see, like I'll draw the map over here again, please mind the drawing. So if you take this as the Ladakh region and the Jammu and Kashmir, the top part of the India, then we have China over here and we have Pakistan in this region. So this area over here is POK, that is Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and this one is the Aksai Chin region disputed with the China. So in somewhere over here in this region, we have the Uyghur Muslims living in here. That means in the Xinjiang region of the China. So what is happening in this region? The main majority of the Chinese people, they are actually doing a lot of discriminatory activities against these Muslim community. So because of that, again, a very basic example, similar to the Rakhine state of Myanmar. Like similarly, some atrocities were done against the Rohingyas, and they started migrating them from the region. That means, again, in order to save their lives, people will run out of the region where atrocities are being happening with them. So similarly, these Uyghur Muslims started running out of this Xinjiang region, and they came to the Pakistan area, and they also went to some Middle Eastern countries as well. But what these certain Middle Eastern countries and also Pakistan, not all, but few, these few countries were actually found helping China in such activity. That means Pakistan, if you talk about Pakistan, so Pakistan actually, instead of giving shelter to these people who were facing atrocities in China, Pakistan deported all these people outside. So after the deportation of these people in the China, again, these people were like put into prisons, and a lot of genocidal activities were done for these people. So again, in short, Chinese people, or the China was actually found doing some genocidal activities regarding the Uyghur Muslims. Next, we are going to have a talk about the South China Sea dispute. So countries which claim in the South China Sea. So this is the very famous 9-dash line of China, where actually China has illegally taken control in this region. This also looks like a cow tongue, etc. So very different names were given to this area, and these are the islands which are the disputed in this region. So China claims that all these islands belongs to China, whereas these islands have different countries claiming on them. For example, if we talk about the Parcel Islands have the claim of China. Then we have light blue that stands for Taiwan and Vietnam. Then Scarborough Shoal Islands. Then Scarborough Shoal Islands has control. So these islands have control of Philippines, Taiwan, Vietnam, and China. That means all these 4 countries are claiming to have control on these islands collectively, whereas what China says that all these islands belong to them. Similarly to the Spratly Islands. So in the Spratly, Malaysia, then we have Philippines, Vietnam, Taiwan, and China. Whereas what China thinks that China is the only one who owns all these islands, etc. So this is also this action was also criticized in the United Nations, but still China didn't stop, and China did not actually remove this 9-dash line. Whereas if you have a look at the Chinese passport, so what happens is, when you have a look at a passport of a country, so in that, like for example, if you look at a passport of yourself, so we have a map of our country's map in the passports. So we will have India's map over there. So if you look at the map of the China, they have actually included this 9-dash area in their passports. That means clearly claiming that on an open level that this area belongs to them. Whereas this is a disputed area, so China should not have done this. But similarly, like we were telling that although China is facing a lot of criticism at global level, still China is not stopping. So now if you talk about the Xi Jinping and the Mao, etc., that means the leaders which China has had till now. So the Xi Jinping, the current leader, he's actually walking in the footsteps of Mao. That means he wants to become the next Mao of the China. That means he wants to become a great man, make China a superpower. But what actually happened? Yeah, he made a huge mistake. So what the mistake he made? That means he has been like, although he has been walking in the steps of Mao, etc., although he has been claiming to make China a superpower, that means the next best leading power compared to the United States, they are actually trying to make their army the strongest. They are actually trying to make their technical area the strongest. But what is happening, if you look at the inside of the economy of the China, there are huge holes in the economy of China. That means the economy of China is not stable. It is falling down. And this area, that means that all these policy which Xi Jinping actually made for its economy, they're actually backfiring. And we have clear evidence of Chinese economy facing a slowdown. So a lesson for India can be like Xi Jinping was ready to launch a philosophy of Maoism 2.0. That means, again, following in the footsteps of Mao, etc., his father. So this actually, all these things with the China has been currently doing. That means we talked in the very first slide. That is, China does not want India becoming a power which can compete it in the future terms. So therefore, China every now and then try to suppress India. That means whenever China gets any sort of opportunity to suppress India, they grab that opportunity. So therefore, this can also be a lesson for India that not today, not in, and neither in the near future, we can have expectations of having peace with China, because again, China over here is actually shown as a country which is very super competitive in a negative way. So they want to suppress India. So because of that, we can likely have clear evidence of the string of pearls, Belt and Road Initiative, and the BRI from the road area, from the land area, and BRI of the maritime area also. So this is all regarding the editorial discussion.